to benefit those on the lowest rung of the system, which is of course people on government assistance and the working poor, who currently have zero rights, guys, have absolutely friggin' zero rights whatsoever, and can be and are treated like total, complete, subhuman trash. There's no flowery way to present this, because it's not a flowery situation. It's a horrendous human rights violation situation that currently exists with the current setup. In this country, here in Canada, that prides itself on looking after every freaking citizen in the country. Regardless of your income bracket, rich, poor, whatever the case might be, we pride ourselves on looking after everybody. But everybody doesn't get looked after evenly and properly, and properly, of all their basic needs met properly, and in a very I wish I could think of the words I need to say when I'm trying to describe stuff in a quick manner, guys, where things aren't just dragged out and you're put through this torture process for weeks and months on end, completely unnecessarily, sort of thing. So here we go now. I'm trying not to make this one much more than 20 minutes long, so I've gone 10 minutes into it already. So to clue up what I was saying to earlier, guys, about my last place, the long short of all that was that after 12 and a half years being there and going through what I went through there, and having a bunch of friggin' snot-nosed young people, half and almost a quarter of my age, moving in around me, only being there for like a few weeks, a month or whatever, taking right over and pushing someone that was twice and almost 3 times their age around, dictating to them, don't do this, don't make this sound, don't make that sound, so on and so forth. Someone that had been there for as long as they'd been alive practically, over 12 years, like I was saying to you. It was like another new low for me to have to endure. That I couldn't have comfort and peace of mind in my own place that I'd been in for over a decade, well over a decade, and all these snot-nosed young people moving in around me, taking right over right away and dictating to me and ordering me around and all the rest of it. Who in the right mind would accept it, guys? Who would want to accept it? So when I complained to the owner about what was going on, what she was allowing to occur in this place, she wouldn't do anything about it. She would just write it off like they all do, just sweep it under the rug. It wasn't a problem that was affecting her directly personally, so she couldn't care less about it. And so 2 or 3 times I brought the situation to her attention of what was happening to me, what was being done to me, how my life was being made a nightmare in this place because I couldn't move, I couldn't breathe, I couldn't talk, I couldn't live normally at all because they were grumbling about every single damn friggin' little thing, while at the same time they could never walk through the damn doors without slamming the doors like mad, coming and going all day long. So I was having to go through that again. And what was making it particularly bad about that particular situation, guys, was that my living room was right above the main door. So you had like a porch thing that kind of extended out the front of the house. And so to get into the house, you went through this little porch area that was extended off the front of the house. But where that door was too, it was right underneath my living room area space. So when I was trying to sit down in my living room, trying to enjoy my space in my living room sort of thing, I would have these god-awful thumps and bangs practically right underneath me all day long, every single friggin' day, day after day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. And so when you talk about like the peaceful enjoyment of a place and all the rest of it sort of thing, like, is that not a reasonable concern to have if you're having every 10, 15, 20 minutes, every hour, every few hours of every single friggin' day for your friggin' life, being frightened half to death with a god-awful bang from a front door sort of thing? So that's what I was having to contend with. That's what I was trying to get across to these arrogant young snots to be aware of and to be conscientious of and to try to tone down. Like close your door and lock it afterwards. Don't lock your door and then bang it too, the way everybody here in Newfoundland does, it seems like. It's so stupid. We're such a stupid bunch of people in certain areas because nobody catches on to that, guys. And I'm still going through it now. I'm going through it over here. I've been going through it all my working adult life. Just one particular thing that just drives me mental, So anyway, the long and short of it was that she got fed up with me complaining to her. She didn't like the way that I was trying to tackle the situation and get on top of the situation to work to my advantage. And rather than reprimanding these young people on my behalf and trying to tell them to try to tone down a bit and not make so much racket when they're coming and going, she jumped on me. She jumped on me. The long-standing tenant that had been there for over 12 years, the older person that was twice the age of these people, she jumped on me and said that I was harassing these people, you know? So the long and short it was that I got the eviction notice and they got to just go on their merry old cursed fucking way and so on. That another example of how insanely screwed up everything is, because that should never have played out that way. It should never have played out that way. So anyway, as I was saying, now this happened before I got the call from my family that my father had gotten sick with cancer and so on. So I was in the process of trying to find another alternate accommodations and so on. That anyway, and worried sick at the time because like the situation now, there was so little available to me to be able to move into. And this is why I'm so reluctant to move when I do move, guys, because it just goes from worse to worse to worse every single friggin' time I have to move. Because it's getting impossible to live here in St. John's now comfortably unless you're a ridiculously fucking rich person. You got to be middle class, upper middle class. You got to be working in an insanely good job and so on. That be CEO of a freaking company or something to be able to live comfortably here in St. John's anymore. It's crazy. It's becoming a town for the freaking rich. Nothing more. If you live on a lower middle class income, and definitely if you're on among the working poor on government assistance, you can't live here anymore. You know, and it goes every few years, 3 or 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years or so. It goes from bad to worse to worse to worse sort of thing. So